welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I'm Ashley. Please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe and join the beauty family. So today's video, honey, we are reviewing the new Haus Labs concealer. So if you'd like to see my thoughts on these concealers, get the tea, whether or not it's worth it, keep watching. Alrighty, beauties, so let's get into this review, honey. I will be reviewing the new Haus Labs by Lady Gaga concealer. This is the Triclone Skin Tech Hydrating Concealer with Fermented Arnica. She's had this all over the line, hey, the bronzer, the highlighter, everything, and I think also in the foundation. So they are really doing their big one in terms of like sourcing natural ingredients to utilize in their products. So I love the fact that this is hydrating because, you know, the under eye tends to deal with a lot. That's why we always want to use hydrating products to just make sure the under eye is moisturized. So let's get into some details about this concealer. So it's clean at Sephora. It is vegan. It has a natural finish. It's hydrating, good for acne and blemishes, and it's good for dark circles. So it is a lightweight, long-wearing, non-comedogenic concealer that does more than cover. It visibly blurs, depuffs, brightens, and conceals with medium buildable coverage. So it's medium coverage, a natural finish, and it is a liquid formula. So some of the highlighted ingredients are the niacinamide, known to brighten and boost skin hydration, fermented arnica, which reduces the look of redness and irritation, and hyaluronic acid complex, which visibly plumps and hydrates. So I'm excited for all of these skin-loving ingredients. So let's get into the product. So I picked up shade 34 medium golden and 40 medium golden. So as y'all already know, I like to choose a shade that is closer to my skin complexion, and then one for brightness, honey, so we could jazz it up a little. So let's get into the packaging. This is what the packaging looks like. It is just her usual packaging. Okay, I like this. So the packaging is definitely cohesive. It has the Haus Labs, the H stamp on the top of it, which all of her products have, and it has more of that like that matte packaging. And just what I love, the color is on the bottom of the product. Could not love that anymore. This is my favorite part. I love to see it on the bottom because that's exactly where I'm gonna look. Let's take a look at 34. This is 34. It looks a little bit brighter for sure. So let's give it a swatch. So I'm gonna swatch 40. So I love this applicator. It is definitely like a nice thick round doe foot applicator, and it looks like the product is a little thick. This is 40. You could definitely see the medium golden. Looks really good. And let's go in with 34. I will say it's a little tough to put back in the package, but you know, it goes in, but it's just a little bit of a push you have to give it. But this is 34. So together, I feel like these colors give like that dynamic duo. So let's get to concealing. So I'm going to start with 40 first. It does feel weightless. There's no real scent. It kind of just smells a little bit like skincare. But it feels good going onto the skin. So this is what 40 looks like. So I'm going to let this hang out for a little bit, and then we're going to pop 34 right on top. So we're going to add a little bit more of this for brightness right under here. So this looks good. I am going to let this hang out for a few minutes before we blend this out. Alrighty, now that we've let this dry down for a few, let's get to blending. So as always, I'm going to go with my beauty blender. This is just really what I choose to utilize to blend out my concealer. I did like the brush. It just takes some getting used to. I just really prefer the blender. So I'm just going to start at the bottom. Okay, so it definitely does dry down a little bit, but I will say I can still see it looking a little bit of hydrating under my under eye. So it doesn't dry down matte, of course, because it does say that it has a natural finish. So you can definitely see the skincare properties working. So just blending this out. The colors together look stunning. So far this looks good. I just want to add a pinch more of 34 under my under eye. Just 2 dots. And blend that out. hydrating concealer, this looks really good. The coverage looks amazing. It has more of like that thicker consistency, which I'm really surprised. Usually the hydrating concealers definitely have more of like a watery consistency. So it is looking really good. So now I just want to set this with some setting powder. Here's my one size translucent powder on the back of my hand and start going in. So just want to place that, get in all the nooks and crannies. Alrighty, so far so good. I just need to start adding the rest of my foundation powder. Instead of 2 powders today, I think I'm just going to go with my Fenty Beauty Pro Filter Soft Matte Powder and apply this all over. I'm going to go ahead and bronze with my Haus Labs bronzer in Deep Level 11. I did not cream contour today. I've been kind of liking that bronze look without the cream. For blush, I'm going to go in with Pinch Me by MAC. I'm just going to add a little bit of this on the cheeks. So y'all already know I do like to go in and set the under eye with another powder. So I'm going in with my NARS Soft Matte Advanced Perfecting Powder in Offshore. So I'm going to use this to apply under my under eye just to secure what's already there. It just adds a little bit extra of flawlessness and helps to keep that powder in place also. Yeah, the pressed powder always gives underneath the under eye. So this is what it's looking like so far. So let me just finish the rest of my face off camera and I'll be back. Alrighty, so now that the face is completed, it's been about an hour. It's about 10:30 now, aka 10:30. So I'm gonna give it like maybe like 2 or 3 more hours just to see how it's going to look at the end of the day, or just to see how it looks like a couple hours later. Like, how does the concealer hold up with my powders, my usual routine. So yes, honey, the face is sitting with one foundation powder and then going in with that pressed powder underneath my under eye. But overall, it is looking beautiful. Definitely liking it so far. Again, I really like the texture of it. It was really buildable, easy to blend. It felt weightless but still having like that creamy feel to it, which I thought for me was slightly confusing because usually a lot of my Skin Loving concealers have more of a looser liquidy texture versus this one. So I love that it's creamy. So yes, beauties, this is the final product. So now it is time for a wear test. So I'll be back in a couple of hours. The time is now 1:03. 9:30 to now. I think we got a good wear test in. So let's zoom in and see how she's looking. Okay, so it's looking bomb, y'all. I'm not gonna lie, she's looking good. Okay, now I know I did set it with my pressed powder. I have not touched up. I haven't touched on my lip. I'm getting like a little oily around my nose, usually in this area, but I haven't touched up anything. I have not touched my face since I left the house. So as you can see, underneath the eye, it looks flawless. There's no creasing. I don't even think Lady Gaga mentioned about creasing or anything like that. There's no creasing. Granted, I used my One Size Beauty powder and then I also used my NARS pressed powder. If a concealer is going to crease, it's going to crease. I can do the most that I can do to prevent the creasing, to reduce the creasing, I would say. But if it's going to crease, baby, it's going to fold like a lawn chair. And this concealer is not folding. I am shocked. Like, look at my under eye. It looks so good. There's legitimately everything settled in my fine lines, and like that's it. So let's get into the breakdown. So these concealers do retail for $32 each. Generally, the price point of concealers usually is between $29 to around $36. So it definitely falls right in that cusp of the price that it should be, the price point that it should be. I think it's worth it. I am really surprised at the creaseless action happening here. So I think that was really my favorite part. As far as like my under eye, it feels good. My under eye doesn't feel dry. It actually feels really soft to the touch. It could be the products that I use as well. I do use eye cream, but overall it's looking stupendous. So yes, beauties, I definitely feel like this Haus Labs concealer is definitely worth the coin, okay? Lady Gaga girl, you did that. I really am loving Haus Labs products. I don't know, I'm thinking about giving the foundation a go again, but I don't know. I don't know yet, I haven't decided. But I will say this concealer is bomb. Definitely pairs well with my one size powder. It pairs well with a pressed powder on top as well to just give like that flawless action. So beauties, thank you so much for tuning into this review. I hope you all enjoyed. Let me know your thoughts down below. Of course, everything is going to be linked for you all. And as always, beauties, thank you all for the love, support, and I'll catch you in my next one. Thanks for watching.